going to change the culture, the mindset, the expectation level, and improve the brand of Indiana Hoosier football.
The highly anticipated unveiling of the Curt Cignetti era is officially here as we welcome you to Bloomington, Indiana for the annual spring football game from beautiful Memorial Stadium. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher alongside the former Indiana Hoosier, Rhett Lewis. Rhett, there is a boldness, there is an exuberance within this program right now that has a lot of folks really excited. I know it has you very excited as a guy who played here and spends a lot of time around this program. What gets you so pumped up about the upcoming season for Indiana?
Well, Matt, to be blunt, winning. That's what Coach Curt Cignetti does. That's what he's done everywhere he's been. And the formula for that success is rooted in a three-word mantra: fast, physical, and relentless. Now, to get a little bit more nuanced on the field with how they accomplish that, but you'll see that permeate throughout offense, defense, and special teams.
Well, Curt Cignetti has won everywhere he has gone. As you get a look at his resume, 13 years as a head coach, he has never had a losing season. And Rhett, he has taken many programs over that had many losing seasons before he got there, turned them into winning programs. Part of that recipe has been great quarterback play.
And we got a little quarterback competition brewing. Obviously brought Curtis Rourke in from Ohio through the transfer portal. Mature, experienced, unflappable. Of course, Hoosier fans know Taven Jackson. He's got all the tools, just got to put it together. And then maybe a glimpse at the future tonight in Tyler Cherry, the highly recruited player.
We are excited to bring you Indiana Hoosier football in April. The spring game kicks off right after this. Welcome back to Bloomington, Indiana for the annual Indiana Hoosier spring football game and a new format this year under head coach Curt Cignetti. It's offense versus defense. I didn't think math was going to be involved, Rhett, but here we are.
Yeah, get your calculators out, right? Because you'll get some points on defense for a stop, right? That doesn't a drive that doesn't end in a score, and also those turnovers are valuable tonight as well.
Let's send it down to the third member of our team, Pat Boylan, who is with the brand new Indiana head coach.
Hoosier fans file into Memorial Stadium for the first time to watch a Curt Cignetti-led group here tonight. Coach, what's the significance to you as you welcome in the fan base for the first time?
It's a glorified practice to me, that's it. We just got fans and you guys here, right? We're going to play a half. We're not even going to kick. We haven't tackled yet. Both scrimmages have been thud. You know, I want to see us do things that winning football teams do and play fast and play our brand of ball. So stay healthy.
As you take over a new program here, a lot of transfers coming in, how valuable has the spring period been for your group?
Well, I think the whole team's really progressed. You know, learning how we practice, our standards, our expectations. And I've seen significant progress from the beginning to end of spring. We've strung together a lot of good days. And those guys we brought in January, you know, they're a lot of our top guys right now.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Coach. And a first pass of spring from Curtis Rourke, one of 11 or 12, if you're counting some guys who aren't out there today due to injury. Brand new transfer portal players on the offensive side of the football.
Key, though, with those transfer portal players is production over potential. That's what Curt Cignetti really values, and that's what Curtis Rourke certainly brings as a 2022 MAC Conference Player of the Year.
And he gives it to Justice Ellison, one of those transfers coming over from Wake Forest. Ran for nearly 2,000 yards in his career for the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, and you know what? I think this offensive line, you know, one of the coaching changes that really was retaining Bob Bostad last year. Was a first-year coach for Indiana, and did a really nice job getting that offensive line to play better and really seeing that unit come together in spring.
Free play here. Rourke is going to take advantage and almost intercepted by Jameer Johnson on the defensive side of the football.
That's a long throw, left hash going all the way to the sideline there, but obviously taking advantage of a likely defensive penalty here.
It's still third down.
Still some things to work out here.
Sure.
As you heard Curt Cignetti say, they haven't even had full live contact until today.
Right, and so the tackling, I think, will be big, and as Coach Mike Shanahan told us, he's really interested to see ball security today, because that hasn't really been tested, and you can't without tackling.
Pressure off the edge. Rourke gets rid of it, and it's a first down for the offense.
And Miles Price has been fantastic in the slot this spring. Comes over as part of a brand new, kind of slot wide receiver group for this Indiana Hoosiers team from Texas Tech. I love the way the ball comes out of Curtis Rourke's hands. He sees the field very quickly, knows where he wants to go with the ball, and gets it there.
Rourke, of course, the MAC Offensive Player of the Year in 2022 at Ohio, and was really wowed by what this coaching staff has done with quarterbacks. Right as we see another 3-yard run by Justice Ellison. As you referenced in the open, their last 4 quarterbacks at James Madison won the Conference Offensive Player of the Year.
It's a pretty good track record, and at a position that's pretty dang important to winning football in today's, certainly in today's college game. And Curtis Rourke, has that, fits that bill that Curt Cignetti was really looking for.
Tyson Lawton in the backfield, one of the JMU transfers. It's Rourke on the run, and there is no tackling.
I don't envy
Rourke this afternoon.
I don't envy the defensive players when the quarterback keeps it on a read option type of situation in that scenario there, and that's just a design run actually from Curtis Rourke there. And look, he's shown some mobility, particularly in 2022 when he won the Conference Player of the Year. Then he had the ACL at the end of that season, and just last year didn't see as much of that rushing production.
Taking over for Brennan Sorsby, who transferred out to Cincinnati, and of course Taven Jackson involved in the quarterback conversation as well. We'll see him later on tonight on another handoff to Lawton. And this is a four-player running back room, where the coaches feel really good about any of those 4 getting the ball at any given time.
Yeah, and look, I think Tyson Lawton does a really nice job seeing where he needs to get and then putting a foot in the ground and going. He is a real nice job being patient, and then once he sees it, man, he pushes through the hole. And you see him running off the left side quite a bit behind Carter Smith. Went into the portal and came back. Big retention for Curt Cignetti.
Rourke dumps it down in an incomplete pass. It was Sean Asbury on the coverage, one of a number of transfers on the defensive side coming over from Old Dominion. But running back wise, their top 4 are all brand new players. And of course, Trent Howland deciding to transfer out recently. Jalen Lucas out as well. And they bring in Tyson Lawton, Caitlin Black, both from JMU, then Elijah Green from UNC, and Justice Ellison from Wake Forest. All guys who were high producers.
A little bit of penetration there on Curtis Rourke as they were trying to set something up. Maybe it looked like the running back was trying to sneak out there. So, yeah, and I think it feels like, as you take a look here at Amari Farrell, a talented sophomore player playing that rover position, that nickel slot. He was coming in, provided some pressure on a previous play there, and there it was. It kind of blew things up there a little bit for Curtis Rourke. They got it tight with the running backs, Matt. They're all about 5'10", 5'11", about 205 pounds, and both, Lawton and Ellison, who we've seen thus far, can get it done in the pass game, as we see here.
That was one of the things that both Curt Cignetti and offensive coordinator Mike Shanahan told us they were really excited about with this running back room, their ability in the pass game.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin Black last year, obviously for James Madison, was a big part of that. 27 catches, and I think you've seen a lot of that in spring ball. I was really impressed with what Tyson Lawton did in the pass game, in the receiving game, really from his running back spot in that second scrimmage, which was the last big-time work they've had since we've seen him here tonight.
So we will not see any punts in this spring game today. If it's a stop for the defense, they will score points, and on 4th and 12, we are going to see Taven Jackson now come out and play a little quarterback for Indiana. We saw him play last year, made 5 starts, including a near comeback effort against Louisville.
Well, that second half against Louisville, you really thought you were seeing the future at quarterback there with Taven Jackson. Nearly came back. I mean, the game essentially ended on a 4th and goal that was ultimately not converted down by the goal line. And Taven, man, showcased some serious, just natural passing ability in that game. Just couldn't get it done consistently throughout.
And the first play for him is a play action. Zipped out to Miles Cross, the Ohio transfer, showing some wheels on the outside, a 13-yard pickup.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously has a great rapport with Curtis Rourke, both having coming in from Ohio, but really like the idea here to get the ball into the hands of your playmakers and these new slot-type receivers, Miles Cross, Miles Price, Keyshawn Williams, who we might see a little bit later. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers and let them go make something happen.
Again to pass, Jackson airing it out for Anderson Kobe. Wow, what a catch by the third-year Tennessee transfer.
Well, we know he's got wheels. He showed the Hoosiers that here since he came in back in that 2022 season. But, man, going up for a contested catch, maybe not something that you've seen a lot from Kobe. But that was a really nice ball placement from Taven Jackson, allowing his wide receiver to go up and get it.
Well, when we had a chance to talk with Curt Cignetti about what excited him with Taven Jackson, he said his arm strength, and he throws a pretty ball, and boy, was that.
That's the thing. Just putting it all together now, how much are you seeing the field? What's your eye discipline like? How fast can you go from touchdown to check down? Because ultimately, you know, every play doesn't have to be a home run.
Goes right back to Anderson Kobe. 8 yards. This one was for 39.
That was a big-time play, and that's what this offense is all about. They're going to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. They want to set the temperature of the game, not take the temperature. They're not going to feel things out. They're going to put the pedal to the metal from the jump.
We asked Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, what can Indiana fans expect? He said, you can expect us to play fast and look for the big play when it's there, just like we saw a moment ago as Omar Cooper Jr. picks up 4.
And Omar Cooper's had a really nice spring, had a bit of a breakout season, you know, last year after redshirting his first year here in Bloomington. Big-time touchdown catch against Penn State and a near upset there for the Hoosiers in Happy Valley. A guy who's really taken to this scheme and has some real solid hands, nice smooth player out there on the perimeter.
And remember, this is an Indiana team that is replacing DeQuise Carter, Cam Camper, so 2 of their top wide receivers from a season ago. Jackson into the air. This time it's Trey Walker inside the 10-yard line.
Well, that's what I want to see from Taven Jackson. He had his number 1 option was Elijah Surratt going deep, and then he comes off that when it's covered, and he's able to move to his second piece of that progression, come back down. I think that was James Bamba actually ended up on the catch down there wide open. So, yeah, look, this scheme will get guys open, and then it's on the players to go out there and execute when there are plays to be made.
Taven Jackson is looking like a young man who knows how to handle this offense.
He's operating very well, and this is what you love to see in the culmination of spring.
Finally a handoff, and this time it goes to Elijah Green, his first carry of spring ball. The transfer coming over from North Carolina, where he was actually a teammate with Josh Henderson.
That's right. That's right, who the Hoosiers have seen here each of the last couple of seasons. Did a real nice job at running back here and providing some stability, so now another Tar Heel into the mix.
2nd and goal from the 10 for Jackson.
See that twitch in the pocket there from Taven with his shoulders, with the pump. And that's something that Tino Sinceri told me really likes with Taven Jackson. He's able to ultimately, again, go from touchdown to check down right there to Green.
Looked like he was going through his progressions too well, which is something that the coaches challenged him to do this spring.
And you love seeing that as something to build on here going into the summer, to feel good about where you ended spring ball, going into summer workouts and then ultimately into fall camp. Really impressed with the way Taven's been working here.
5 wide receivers set. Now Green joins Jackson in the backfield. 3rd down. Jackson towards the end zone, and a catch and a touchdown for Donovan McCulley. The leading wide receiver a season ago, his first catch of the spring game is a TD.
Well, Matt, picking up right where he left off from a breakout 2023 campaign where he had 5 touchdowns in the final 5 games. This is what he does. Red zone threat at 6'5", and Taven puts it where only Donovan McCulley can go get it.
Big re-recruitment of Donovan McCulley, who put his name in the transfer portal after the old regime was dismissed, and Curt Cignetti and his staff made it a point to get Donovan McCulley back to Indiana.
Huge get. He was getting offers from football blue bloods, but absolutely a huge get. And look, Curt Cignetti challenged him. about midway through spring. I want more from you. And boy, did he respond in the 3 to 4 practices afterwards. Renewed effort, renewed execution, and now we see it in the paint here in Bloomington.
How about this for your first series of the Indiana spring football game? 7 for 7, 90 yards, including a 39-yard hookup with Anderson Kobe.
In terms of taking advantage of opportunities, I'd say A+ for Taven Jackson thus far.
There's a handoff to Kalon Black, showing the shiftiness out across the 50-yard line. He was the leading rusher last season for JMU and just picked up 24 on the ground.
There might be a real burgeoning dynamic duo here for the Hoosiers in the backfield with the two James Madison Dukes and Kalon Black and Tyson Lawton, who we saw in that first possession with the ones. And you've seen the emphasis on running out to that left side behind big Carter Smith. Again, really good left tackle. I think he's got the ability to be one of the best in the conference.
Back to Black over the left side, and this time not much running room. You referenced Carter Smith. He is one of just a couple of returning starters. They lost 3 starters across the offensive line, but Rhett, you talk to this coaching staff, they feel really good about the depth up front.
And they think, Smith in particular can get even better based off, what we saw from him in this spring. So excited about that. And obviously, he, like Donovan McCulley, entered the portal and was getting some big-time offers, decided to come back to Bloomington. By the way, love that stop from Aiden Fisher. James Madison linebacker transfer, trying to anchor this defense for Brian Haynes.
5 wide receiver set for Rourke. Zips it underneath to Miles Price, and the Texas Tech transfer is wrapped up. Aiden Fisher was in on the tackle again, and he is the quarterback of this defense.
That's right.
In the words of his defensive coordinator, Brian Haynes.
They've got a real connection, right? And it's mentally with how they think, how they approach the game. It's also with the green dot on his helmet, right? As the
something new there.
Something new this year, yes. A communicator coming from the sideline, obviously with all that we saw in college football last year. That is a welcome addition to college football. And Fisher's got some buddies that he'll see from James Madison here make impacts on this defense as well.
Rourke trying to scamper out of trouble and just has to get rid of it because Kamara was hot on his tails. One of those JMU transfers on defense, Mikhail Kamara, who was second team all-conference in the Sun Belt last year.
Yeah, 6.5 sacks for the Dukes. He has been playing at a different speed on defense this spring for the Hoosiers. He's the model. Brian Haynes' defense has worked. It has been wildly successful. They're going to call a grounding here on Curtis Rourke. Out of the pocket, did not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Offense. The ball he places in the spot of the foul. Penalty includes a loss of down. It's 4th down.
So the #1 defense is giving it to the #1 offense a little bit right now, which is a bit of a surprise compared to what we thought coming in.
Yeah, based off what's gone down this spring, the offense feels like it has been ahead. And look, a lot of that has been due to depth. Some key contributors on this defensive side that they're counting on here have been injured. Guys like James Carpenter, guys like Jalen Walker, again, another couple of JMU transfers. Kobe Minor at corner, who was the Hoosiers' best corner in 2023, has been in and out of the lineup. And then obviously there's been some safety turnover there as well. A lot of guys playing new positions like Nick Toomer, who the Hoosiers saw last year at corner, now at safety. And Jacob Mangum-Farrar, another one moving from linebacker to that stud defensive end position, call it that boundary defensive end, where you got to have the ability to win and rush there in this defense, and so he's now in that role.
Well, if you're keeping score at home and you're wondering where the defense picked up 6 points.
Not from a pick six.
No. 3 points are awarded for each defensive stop, and right now the #1 defense has 2 stops against the #1 offense as Taven Jackson comes back in, who led a 90-yard drive, which resulted in a touchdown pass to Donovan McCulley, his first series.
Yeah, fantastic work from Taven Jackson to open this thing. Great confidence builder, not just within the context of this game, but in this being the coronation of spring ball, the culmination rather of spring ball. And so, but that was a nice response there from this defense, especially along this defensive line where the depth has taken a little bit of hit. You saw Daniel Nduke, true freshman, coming in there and helping to make a stop.
Jackson, a play action, goes over the middle, and this time caught for a first down. And again, it is Miles Cross who now has hooked up with Jackson for a couple of double-digit games.
And I think, one thing that's going to be, as you take a look at the way Miles goes, man, it's just a nice slant there from the slot, gets some leverage on Terry Jones there, the safety, and just terrific mechanically operating in the pocket from Taven to get that ball to Cross. And look, these guys that are operating in the slot now, Cross, Price, Williams, all of them have over 100 career receptions coming into Bloomington, which is big for Kurt Signetti.
So it goes back to what you talked about, Rhett, which is when they went into the portal and picked up those 22 transfers coming into spring practice, they went for production over potential, which at sometimes meant bringing in lower conference, even FCS players. And Curt Signetti feels really good, particularly at the skill positions.
Yeah, exactly right. You'd rather have a guy who's done it at the collegiate level rather than a four-star guy who hasn't quite lived up to the hype at a bigger school or at a bigger program.
Jackson's pass incomplete, intended for 12.
Incomplete, intended for Miles Cross. Donovan McCulley, the main producer, returning from last year. He, of course, led the Hoosiers in receiving yards and touchdowns. And then they bring in 4 big-time wide receivers that Mike Shanahan said have bolstered the deepest wide receiver room he has been around, as Anderson Colby is off to the races. Inside the 30, Colby dodging defenders inside the 5 and taken down just ahead of the goal line by Nick Toomer.
Anderson
64 yards, right?
The wheels on display right now to generate some separation and then to create explosives after the completion. Run up to the catch is huge, and they're going fast now. Now they're going to slow them down a little bit here after the penalty, which obviously is going to be declined.
Taven Jackson has almost 150 yards passing in 2 series running the twos.
We're going to have to look up the old IU spring game record book here momentarily.
He has Justice Ellison in the backfield. They will give it to the Wake Forest transfer, and he is swallowed up. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play, but how about Anderson Colby? 2 big-time catches from Taven Jackson.
Regular starter in 2022 for the Hoosiers. Took a little bit of a back seat, played some special teams a year ago. Has always had that speed. Can he put it together, consistently catching the football and then going out there to make plays? I think the one thing that you'll see in a play like that, and it was actually called offsides, they were bringing a blitz from the rover, right? That slot corner, that nickel corner. That's something that Brian Haynes is going to do. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to bring stunts, blitzes. But you got to get home so that you don't get beat in the second.
Jackson checked down. Justice Ellison is wrapped up. A nice open field tackle by, I believe, it was Lincoln Murph.
Okay, Lincoln Murph getting some action there as and look, I thought that one might go 4-6. So it was actually a nice job preventing Justice Ellison from getting into the end zone.
3rd and goal from about the 2.5-yard line. Jackson led a touchdown drive in his first series of the spring game. Gives it up the middle, and it's Justice Ellison barreling ahead for a touchdown. And the Wake Forest transfer is on the board. Back-to-back touchdown drives led by Taven Jackson.
And I bet that's a little bit of an exercising of the demons for Taven Jackson, as we were talking about that Louisville near comeback win over the Cardinals up in Indianapolis. Boy, that just opened like the Red Sea right there. Parted like the Red Sea with the big guys up front. Bray Lynch at center, and then James Bamba does all the dirty work at tight end, coming in there to seal that thing off, giving a nice runway for Ellison to get into the paint.
Derek McCormick in for the point after. The transfer from University of Louisiana Monroe was 10 for 12 on field goal attempts last year and hit a 50-yard bomb for ULM last season.
A little bit of kicking competition.
Well, this is the upcoming football schedule in 2024, and if you've paid attention to what Curt Signetti has said about the schedule, they feel really good about the opening 6 to 7 weeks to get this program in a rhythm.
Sure, and you got 8 home games. So in this new Big Ten, obviously with Washington, Oregon, USC, and UCLA coming in, Indiana gets UCLA in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl, which is kind of cool, right? And then Washington coming to Bloomington on October 26th. It'll be fun to kind of see how those teams get integrated into a Big Ten type of schedule, a Big Ten type of feel. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, to open the season, I think conservatively you'd love to get 4 wins minimum out of that first 6 games.
And imagine if you pick up 5
Sure.
heading into the back half, you're 1 win away from potentially being bowl eligible.
Which this program hasn't seen since the COVID season of 2020.
And it's part of why there is so much excitement as you see Trey Walker, the top returning tight end from a season ago, make the grab. It's part of the excitement, Red, is because Curt Cignetti hasn't said, oh, we're coming in to build the program. No, we're coming in to win right now and get bowl eligible in 2024.
And he sees no reason why they can't win right away. Wouldn't have taken the job if he didn't think so. And so you appreciate that kind of confidence. Now you got to go out there and prove it. And that's what, opportunities like tonight are all about.
Miles Price tackled by Josh Sanguinetti, one of a number of returners in the secondary for this IU defensive unit. And again, they told us, listen, there's still some spots that we want to pick up in the transfer portal, that is at the safety position and on the defensive line.
Yeah, particularly up front in the interior of the defensive line, where there's been some kind of late departures right before spring ball actually started. So yeah, want to beef that group up, get some depth, and they'll get some injured players back too for the fall.
Tyson Lawton barreling ahead for a first down on a 4-yard pickup. He was the second leading rusher last year at James Madison behind Kaylon Black, who also came over to Indiana with Curt Cignetti this year.
Yeah, and to me, the game for Tyson Lawton is patience to pop, right? Understand how things are unfolding in front of you, and then bang, take advantage of it. He's got a real twitch to his game.
Pressure off the edge. Rourke, a long throw is incomplete. He was looking for Omar Cooper Jr.
Well, that's a good throw. Looked very similar to what we saw to open the game. And here's Cooper. Oh, that's a nice head movement right there on that out route, right at the sticks. Just got to finish. Got to finish. Generated a ton of separation. Made that a nice clear picture for Curtis Rourke to throw. It was a good toss there from Rourke, but Cooper will come up with that 9 times out of 10.
Rourke was a 3-year starter at Ohio University. And had he not had that injury at the end of the 2022 season, may have gone to the NFL draft. That was nearly intercepted by Kobe Minor, who the coaches have been thrilled with this year in spite of dealing with a bit of a groin injury during spring practice.
Yeah, and Kobe, is one of those guys that can play in that boundary corner role where you play a little bit closer to the ball, a little bit more press man. That's kind of what you saw right there on Donovan McCulley. Donovan unable to generate some separation, get free there from Minor, which, Curtis Rourke then putting that ball in a little bit of peril. Like to take care of it, protect it.
3rd and long again for Curtis Rourke, the third such 3rd and long today. Goes to the air, finds Miles Price underneath, shaking free, and Price has a first down on a 16-yard reception.
Man, that is something Indiana football has been sorely lacking in the last couple of seasons. A player like Miles Price who can make a catch, then make a couple of guys miss right there. As you get a terrific explosion off the ball, sharp cut on that hook route right there, making himself available to Curtis Rourke, catching the football, turning upfield right away, breaking a couple of tackles, and moving the sticks.
Price, a 2-time honorable mention All Big 12. They go to the ground. It's Green trying to find a seam, and will scamper ahead for about 4 on first down. And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter of this Indiana Hoosier spring football game. We have seen Taven Jackson dial it up for a touchdown pass, leading 2 touchdown drives for the second-team offense. 23 coaches, players, and staff coming over with Curt Cignetti from JMU, including Elijah Surratt, who was a top 15 wide receiver in the country last year. He was with Pat Boylan a moment ago.
Couple drives in the books here. You're in your 3rd drive. First game where the pads are on and tackling's happening. Take me through the environment and what you're seeing so far.
Great environment. As y'all see, got a lot of fans coming out here. Great showing. Just coming out, trying to do our best, take it play by play, and get better while we go.
How is your chemistry developing with Curtis Rourke?
Going good. Of course, we have our bumps. We're new, but it's going good. Getting better each practice, each day.
Mike Shanahan called this the deepest wide receiving core he's ever had. Take me through what these battles in practice have been like.
Yeah, I agree. One of the deepest receiver rooms I've been with. The competition every single day is good, though. We're pushing each other. We're all close. It's no ill will against each other. We're just trying to get better.
All right, get back on the field.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Elijah. It's Curtis Rourke getting it to Elijah Surratt. Fittingly for a pickup on third down. That will bring up 4th and short. So what will Curt Cignetti do here?
All right, our first chance to see whether we're going to get a little bit of a gamble here on 4th and short or bring out the field goal team. Looks like we're going to keep the offense on the field. But, boy, I love Elijah Surratt's game. A reliable receiver. He knows where he needs to be. He's got a great set of hands and can really make some moves with the ball after the catch as well.
4th and about 3.5. They will go to the ground. It is Kaylon Black shifting through the defense and finding a first down. The first for the first team offense.
Yeah, it's been a minute, right, since this Curtis Rourke-led unit could really get rolling. I love the vision right there from Kaylon Black to let things evolve in front of him a little bit, sneak in right there inside right tackle Trey Wettig, transfer coming in from Wisconsin. And then a nice hit, by the way, on the defensive side from Tadarius Tootie Collins.
Black lines up in the backfield again with Rourke. Back to Black. And again, another big pickup for Kaylon Black, who again was the leading rusher a season ago for James Madison. A big year they had at JMU. Hey, July 13th, the Big 10K returns to Soldier Field in Chicago for the fantastic 10K and 5K races and tailgate party. Scan the QR code right now or register right now at btnbig10k.com.
Matt, this is what Mike Shanahan and Curt Cignetti want this offense to look like on the ground. All right, things weren't working very well early on in this spring contest here, but they kind of keep committing to the run game and then start leaning on that defense, make them feel you a little bit. Now you're starting to see some of that commitment pay off with some success.
They only gave Curtis Rourke 1 yard on that scramble right there.
We're being conservative out here, right? And that is a huge piece of the spring puzzle for Curt Cignetti. Get everybody in and out of this thing healthy. Especially the QBs, right?
Oh, of course. That's why they're wearing the black shirts. Yes. A couple of guys missing offensively. You referenced a few men on the offensive line. They are missing Nick Kidwell, who figures to be a starting contender at right guard, coming over from James Madison, just bolstering the depth as Tyson Lawton lowers the shoulder and gets into the end zone for a touchdown. The first touchdown of the afternoon for the first team offense.
Tyson Lawton showcasing a little bit of that speed around the right side. Let's take a look here as Lawton just sees something develop off the backside. Looked like that play was intended to go out to the left, and then he saw some daylight and had the wheels to make it count. Love the stiff arm too right there, get by Sanguinetti, and the power into the end zone.
Tyson Lawton is such a great story. Played 5 seasons at Stony Brook in the FCS, was the conference preseason player of the year in 2022, played a few games, had a season-ending ankle injury, and going into that season, Rhett, he felt like he was ready to turn pro, but of course the injury delayed that. Decides to go to Curt Cignetti at JMU, second leading rusher behind Kaylon Black, and now the opportunity to play in the Big Ten was too sweet to pass up.
No doubt. And Curt Cignetti, one of just 5 new head coaches that we're going to see here in 2024. And the all-new Big Ten with some all-new faces, especially with 2 of those new 4 coming in there with Jed Fish at Washington and Sean Foster at UCLA. I'll be at the USC spring game on Saturday. Looking forward to seeing what Coach Lincoln Riley has up his sleeve. New defensive coordinator Danton Lynn as well.
Well, we talked about it in the open, but Curt Cignetti, 13 seasons as a head coach, has never had a losing season. And he took over Indiana University in Pennsylvania after he was an assistant under Nick Saban. Took a gamble on himself to get into the head coaching realm, and man, has that paid off.
Yeah, and has also had some real big quarterback influences along his career. Had a chance to coach Phillip Rivers. Actually had a chance to coach Phillip Rivers against Indiana back my first year here back in 2001. So got to see some high-level quarterback play. Was with Walt Harris, who taught him a lot about the quarterback game. And then, as he says it, Saban really filled in the holes of his football knowledge and helped propel him to these head coaching gigs where he's been ultra successful.
And now we are seeing the third-team offense led by true freshman Tyler Cherry. Will go to the ground on a handoff on second down. And it is strung out. David Holloman on the carry. Tyler Cherry, highly touted out of the state of Indiana, a number 20 quarterback in the entire class.
And a flip, right? Was committed to Duke, but certainly has the Hoosier ties here from Center Grove, where he kind of took the torch that was handed to him from Taven Jackson, kind of like he's doing tonight.
Won a state championship, a 2-year starter at Center Grove, highly decorated high school career. Drops back to pass here, shakes loose, but they're going to blow it dead as we are getting more and more looks at Brian Haynes' defense. And when we asked him what to expect, he said a lot of movement, a lot of blitzes and stunts, way more than you see from a traditional defense.
He wants a vertically charged defensive line, right? Wants his defensive linemen and his defensive tackles in particular to penetrate, right? Cause havoc in the opposing offense's backfield. That's why they've been one of the best run-stuffing teams with those TFLs over the course of his career with Curt Cignetti. He's been with him for 10 years, right? And so then they're able to create sacks and just overall cause some real trouble for opposing quarterbacks.
Saturday, catch more spring football excitement at 2 Eastern. See the Fighting Illini in action during the orange and blue game. Then at 4, take your first look at the Spartans in their spring showcase all Saturday, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Flipping the field here, but still, I believe Tyler Cherry running quarterback.
So there you go, saw it in the right spot. Tyler Cherry right there, Matt, but then just couldn't quite get it from A to B. He's got a terrific arm, right? He's got some good arm strength. He's got some good accuracy. Got to refine that. But I think ultimately this is going to come down to how does he operate in this offense? How does he understand what Tino Sunseri and Mike Shanahan are trying to get him to accomplish? And then once that slows down, I think you'll see the talent take over.
Early enrollee, young enough still to be getting ready for prom.
That's right.
Here he is leading the third-team offense at Memorial Stadium. And Curt Cignetti said, look, he's a freshman. We're tempering our expectations for him because we don't want to put too much pressure on him. But they feel strongly that his future is very, very bright, along with another handful of early enrollees.
Well, and with Tyler Cherry, look, as you mentioned, you know, getting ready for prom, I feel like his talent is more along the lines of the flair you might see from a Lloyd Christmas type tuxedo in Dumb and Dumber than your traditional black jacket bow tie. Man, he can bring the heat with his tools. Now it's just about understanding where and how to utilize them within this offense.
It's a good throw there from Cherry, going through his progressions and hitting his check down. He hit Daniel Weems, the transfer from Indiana Wesleyan.
Love that. Look at the way he gets through his progression right there, starting off to the left, coming from 1, 2, and then out to 3 to get a completion.
What color was your prom?
You know,
tuxedo.
I was pretty traditional on that one. I think now, you know, if you ask me now, you know, might throw a little bit of a crimson in there on top of some black pants. You know what I mean? Nice peak lapel. You a bow tie guy, or are we more of a tie here?
I went with the white jacket and black.
Let's go.
Yes. Cringeworthy, really, with like a little pink. Yeah, not good. 4th and 1, they are not going to go for it. A defense gets 3 points on the stop.
Yeah, do you have a New Year's Eve a little bit of a flair, a little bit of something you want to share with us?
Well, our producer, Glenn,
okay, there it is,
often works with me on New Year's Eve, and sometimes I'll pull out something special for the holiday. You got to do that, right? Get into the cheer.
Absolutely.
Great crowd on hand tonight at Memorial Stadium. And a look at the new coaches. And Rhett, it's very new because only one on-field assistant was retained. The rest is a brand new staff for Curt Cignetti.
And a great choice by Curt Cignetti to retain Bob Bostad. Did great work with the offensive line. All the coordinators are from James Madison, including Brian Haynes, who's been with Curt Cignetti for a decade now, has been with him at every single one of his head coaching stops, from IUP to Elon, then to JMU, and now to here. So they understand what Curt Cignetti wants, and I think that's huge.
Back to the #1 offense, and another big gain on first down for Justice Ellison. That's a 6-yard pickup for a young man who recently became engaged to be married, and they talked a lot about his maturity in the running back room, rather. You got to be a mature young man to get married in college.
Hey, Curtis Rourke did it as well, so they can kind of share some husband tips right there in the locker room. Like it. Nice.
Over the middle for a completion again to Ellison. Another 6-yard gain and a first down. Let's send it to Pat Boylan.
Well, it's one of the toughest decisions a new head coach can face, whether or not to keep anybody from that previous staff. And I asked Curt Cignetti about that decision and his philosophy. And he said he normally tries to keep a coach or two from the previous regime, and that here at IU, that answer was clear, to keep the veteran O-line coach Bob Bostad, a guy that Cignetti said he didn't know personally, but knew his great reputation around the coaching community. Cignetti said he was really excited when he took the job and saw Bostad on the previous staff. In fact, when asked about the position group he has the most confidence in, he said the offensive line. And offensive coordinator Mike Shanahan agreed, saying when you've got a good one, you've always got a chance. And we think we've got a good one.
Well, Pat, that's great stuff. And the coaches also told us, we believe we can go 8 deep during the course of the season at the offensive line position. That's something they couldn't say here at IU last year.
And Bob Bostad was a big part of developing some of this young talent like Carter Smith, getting the most out of a guy like Mike Kadick in the final years of his collegiate eligibility, back now moving to center from his left guard spot a year ago. Trey Weddick, he knew very well from Wisconsin when they were both there together. And so that familiarity, that foundation that he's building upon leads to some of that continuity and success that you're seeing now.
And they replace center, right guard, right tackle from last year. Zach Carpenter, Matthew Bedford, Khalil Benson all moving on, and yet feel very strongly about the depth of the offensive line room. Curtis Rourke on 3rd down out of the gun. We'll give it to Elijah Green, who has been used often in the spring game on 3rd down situations, playing well.
Yeah, sure. Another guy who's got a real opportunity to make an impact here, both in the run game and the receiving game. And again, look, just kind of bring the tight end, Trey Walker, over from the right side of the formation, and Green able to just kind of read where that hole is opening up there in between left guard, left tackle, and get some positive yardage, move the sticks.
Fake it. Rourke deep over the middle. He was looking for Donovan McCulley, and there comes the flag. McCulley was grabbed in the secondary.
Smokes back judge just threw one like Taven Jackson with that flag. That was incredible. Like the decision here from Curtis Rourke, looking for McCulley. An obvious penalty there on Isaiah Jones, but that was opening up. I think that ball placement was going to be a little bit off, so they actually fortunate.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
Well, this is a staff coming over from JMU that had a potent offense for the Dukes. A top 20 scoring offense in the country last year, averaged 34 points per game. Top 10 in completion percentage, top 40 in yards per game. They want to move and they want to attack, and that is exciting to a lot of Indiana fans.
Exactly right.
Deep ball, broken up by Jamier Johnson, who has had a couple of really good plays in coverage tonight.
Glad you mentioned that. Transfer in from Texas a year ago. Jamier Johnson now had a 2023 campaign that was marred by injury. I like this shot play here from Curtis Rourke. That's a chance where either Elijah Surratt's going to catch that thing or it's going to ultimately fall incomplete. But that's terrific coverage from Jamier Johnson. Sticky, maybe a little too sticky, but letting him play a little bit down the sideline here. Both guys were going after it. Like Jamier Johnson, getting his eyes back to the football, finding it, and then getting his hands on it. It's a good football play. I know it didn't work out for the offense, but it was terrific for the defense.
Love his versatility. Former 4-star recruit out of Pasadena, California. This time Rourke underneath. Kalon Black taken down in the open field by Kobe Minor, who's another guy. When we asked what's the strength of Kobe Minor, they said versatility. Can play the boundary, can play the wide side, and will be used in both during the 2024 season.
That is a good, solid, open field tackle right there. Absolutely imperative for a corner right there as he's playing into the boundary right now, especially in the way that Brian Haynes uses that position here. You're going to have some run fit at times. You're going to have to get a little rowdy, as he says, and be a sure tackler, which he was on that last one.
Rourke. That would have been an interception had they not blown it dead. Sean Asbury wants to run it back anyway. The ODU transfer. It was an honorable mention all Sun Belt pick a year ago.
All right, so Rourke working back through the progression. Nice work kind of within the pocket, making some subtle movements right there. Ultimately blow that thing dead for a sack. He's been pretty good taking care of the football, although I'm going to want that one back when they look at it on tape tomorrow.
Asbury, part of a #1 defense that's having fun out here tonight. Get news, highlights, and analysis on The Big Show coming up next on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. The hype is real for Indiana football in 2024, and the defense has come up with 3 straight stops, led by their leader on defense, Mr. Aiden Fisher, who's standing by with
Aiden,
Pat
how would you
Boyle.
evaluate the defense so far?
I think we came out looking neat. A lot of the run fits were fitting up well. I think the more we go, it's just a little bit about the fatigue thing and being able to stay on pace and keep making our fits as clean as possible.
Your coaches call you a quarterback on defense. Take me through your mental approach to linebacker.
I just think they put me in a position to lead, and that way I'm there and I can. I'm given the strength by the Lord above to have the strength, courage to lead these guys and be able to put them in the right place, the right time, and allow me to play as fast as possible because they're playing as fast as possible as well.
You've been with this staff for 2 years. For IU fans just learning about their new leaders, how would you describe them?
We got a fire to win. We don't take losing lightly, and we won't do a lot of it here. Winning is coming your way, Bloomington.
Aiden, thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Drop the mic, Aiden Fisher. Heard it here first. Winning is coming to Bloomington.
Now we know why those dudes were getting loose in the stands coming out of break. They were listening to Aiden Fisher tell the story of what this Hoosier program is going to look like under Curt Cignetti.
Well, this Hoosier offense has looked pretty good under Jackson, but he just throws an interception there, and it is picked off in the middle of the field by ODU transfer Terry Jones.
Boy, that's a big-time play in the secondary. Let's see, he's sitting right there in that rover position, playing that nickel slot role. Does a nice job kind of widening, getting his hands on cross, then getting back underneath the field of vision, and the throw from Taven Jackson as he's looking for Miles Cross right there. Man, that is an experienced player in Terry Jones who's played in 40 games, started 26 of them, understanding technique, understanding leverage, and with his eyes to the quarterback.
Playing in the nickel spot, which is a position that Bryant Haynes, the new defensive coordinator, said they put a lot of stress on in this defense. And if you think back to a year ago, the nickels, which was a different position for Indiana, but nonetheless a similar type of position. Noah Pierre, gone. Jordan Shaw, gone. Jordan Greer, gone. Anthony Jones, gone. Rhett, all 4 of those guys started at one point in 2023.
Exactly right. And so now you turn to the true sophomore Amari Farrell with the 1s, and now you turn to Terry Jones with the 2s, and boy, that gives you some real confidence. That is a premier position in college football now with the way that teams are running 11 personnel, which has 3 wide receivers out at most times.
Rourke gets it to his wide receiver, Cooper, who was shoved out of bounds by Farrell. The young buck playing in the nickel spot, a 16-yard pickup. But this is a defense that has a number of guys playing in different positions. You mentioned Nick Toomer sliding over from corner to safety. The big one that everyone's talking about, Jacob Mangum-Farrar, 12 starts at linebacker this year, learning a new position this season.
And watching him against Ohio State last year in the season opener, you could see that he had some nuance to his game as a rusher, coming on blitzes from the second level, playing linebacker last year. And so I think that the coaches and talking to them, you know, saw some of that potential in him. He is a big-bodied dude, 6'4", 252 pounds, and so he's got the frame to withstand being down there in that end position, in that stud position. And now just kind of got to work on that pass rush, right? Some of the technique and just start to refine his moves and have a better rush plan so that he can get to the quarterback on a consistent basis.
Coaches feel strongly that the second installment during fall camp is when he's going to really make strides at his new position.
Not just for guys making that position transition, but for guys that are new to this scheme too. And so I think that you'll really start to see some of that progress and some of the real talent, right? Physicality, some of that speed start to show up more so in the fall. And this is what I was talking about in the Ohio State game. He was all over the field, playing next to Aaron Casey, made a couple of big stops in that Louisville game as well. Leading tackler returning for the Hoosiers, but again, playing an off-the-ball linebacker position. So now he's down. He doesn't have to think as much, doesn't have to read and react as much from this defensive end spot, and they think that's going to really unlock some of his talent.
Rourke looking deep, has Miles cross, and it's incomplete. Former teammates at Ohio University, really nice catch, but feet were not in bounds, and it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, just finishing up, let's take another look. Look at the way he's using his hands right there. That's a pretty darn good tackle on Carter Smith. It does a good job pushing Mangum Farrar beyond the quarterback, right? And so Rourke then is able to step up, make a throw, real good throw. Nearly got that 1 foot in bounds. But that's a good matchup to watch there with JMF, Mangum Farrar, number 7, and 65 Carter Smith out at left tackle.
And the #1 offense is rolling the dice, but there's a shift on the offensive line, and that is going to be a false start.
62, offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
On Drew Evans. And will Curt Cignetti leave his #1 offense out there? He will not.
Love to see Nico Radicic get out here, get a shot at a deep field goal. You know, that was an All Big Ten holder. I don't know if you knew that.
I saw it in your bio on Wikipedia.
I might have added that piece. Gotta get that. That needs to be. I was talking with Grant Kane, special teams coordinator. He's with me. We need to get that acknowledged in the postseason awards. It is a big time. Oh, we are going to see a field goal attempt here.
This is a 51-yarder from the redshirt freshman Radicic. Kick is up and away and right of the goalpost, but he had the leg.
Had the leg.
Kick is no good.
And Radicic's a player who barely missed in live situations in practice with the team a year ago. That was actually McCormick on that kick. So Radicic remains clean on the day.
You're right. It was McCormick who did hit the 50-yard last year.
So you know he's got the leg.
Louisiana Monroe. Little kicker competition between Radicic and McCormick. Defense is on a 16-0 run. They're leading right now, 22-21. Hey, Sunday, don't miss softball. When the Hoosiers face the Hawkeyes in the finale of their weekend series, coverage begins 2:30 Eastern, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. And that's something that is brand new to college football this year, the opportunity to go back, watch the video from the previous series on a tablet, real time.
And that's new long snapper Mark Langston out there taking a look at how the operation was working as Radicic comes over. He wants to take a peek at it as well. They take such great pride in putting that snap back perfectly, getting that hold down exactly where it needs to be so that the kicker's in a spot to succeed. And so that's really cool technology now. And we're getting the headset communications and the tablets. Man, it's some 21st century stuff here, man.
It's a little bit different than when you were playing.
It's like Star Wars out here now. Come on.
You guys were using carrier pigeons to deliver messages.
That's true. I was the one that was running the messages out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Taven Jackson back in at quarterback. He has looked really good in this spring game, right?
Yeah, save for the interception, he's been really spot on and taking a deep shot here. But yeah, I think, look, he's got all the tools and a real natural thrower of the football, right? And he's got all the arm strength in the world. Ball looks good, nice tight spiral. It's just about putting it all together, understanding the eye discipline that comes with being a terrific quarterback in this scheme. Where am I safe? What are the depths of the safeties, right? What are the keys that I'm looking at? What are the matchups that I want to try to exploit? And then he can take it from A to B.
11 for 14 tonight, 171 yards passing, and that one over the head of his intended receiver, Miles Price. And it brings up 4th and 6.
Maybe we should stop talking about tape.
Switch the subject.
Yeah, he was 7 for 7 to open things up. And look, he's just trying to get on the same page, you know, getting some reps out there with some different receivers. And that's the thing, 7-8 deep, I think you're going to see this Hoosiers team out here in 10 personnel a lot more than Indiana teams in years past and James Madison teams in years past, which means 4 wide receivers, 1 running back, no tight ends.
Pat Boylan talked about it a couple of moments ago when he was with Elijah Surratt, one of a number of transfers in the wide receiver room. And Mike Shanahan told us it's the deepest wide receiver room he's ever been part of, including his playing days when he was at Pitt.
Yeah.
And he said we feel like we could run hockey line changes during different series throughout the course of the game, switching 4 out, 4 in.
Well, that's the type of flexibility, having 3 guys who you feel, at minimum 3 guys who you feel very comfortable with in the slot. Miles Price, Miles Cross, Keyshawn Williams. By the way, E.J. Williams, transfer last year, who we're not really seeing tonight, has been banged up, was having a sensational start to spring, in the words of Curt Cignetti, but then got banged up a little bit and has had to work his way back. To see him more in the fall.
Rourke zips it wide, and the catch made by Elijah Surratt, who was an FCS All-American at St. Francis Academy, transferred to JMU, was working with the threes in the fall of 2023, wound up being a first-team All-Sun Belt selection and a top 15 wide receiver in the country.
Not to mention, he didn't even start the first 4 games and still ends up with 82 catches and over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. So fantastic work for Elijah Surratt.
And here is Elijah Green trying to shake the tackle of Aiden Fisher. Not many can do that. Led JMU in tackles a season ago.
And I'm telling you, when Jalen Walker comes back, and he's been injured for spring and hasn't really been available, but you line him up there next to Aiden Fisher, 2 guys who know each other very well from their time together at JMU, know this scheme very well, and I think there's an ability to take this defense to the next level. Walker really brings the fast in the fast, physical, relentless piece.
Back to Green on the ground and goes underneath Jamari Sharp across the 40-yard line for a first down.
Speaking of fast, Jamari Sharp, track speed, fast, and now Brian Haynes and everybody on that defensive staff trying to get turn that track speed into a fluid corner. One of the most heavily used corners last year for IU and played really well.
Ran 10.69 in the 100 in high school.
That'll play.
Here is Zach Horton. First team all-conference last year at James Madison. And the running back room, we told you, is very deep. They will use 4 running backs, and they could over the course of the season, Red.
And that's the thing. You want to keep guys fresh. You want to keep them available. Because, again, all these guys are stepping up a level in competition. They're going to feel a little bit different, on a Sunday morning after a Saturday in the Big Ten. And that's not to say that, playing in the Sun Belt, it isn't a high level of competition, but this is just a little bit different. So you're going to want to make sure everybody's fresh. Guys are going to go down. You want to have that depth to be able to keep up a run game that this offense, now we've seen some flash in the past game, but make no mistake, they want to run the football, and they want to run it well, and they want to be really physical on this defense.
2-0-0.
Curt Cignetti wants to run a true 2-minute offense here. His offense down 4.
Yeah.
First team defense was exceptional. Second team defense picked off Taven Jackson. And so,
well, and I'd say,
they need a touchdown here, Red.
Shoot, I had 7 seconds. Let's add 7 minutes. You gotta sign up for more football. You know what I mean?
Curt Cignetti only wanted to play 2 quarters, keep everybody healthy.
That's the goal.
But we're having fun up here.
This is awesome. Let's get this thing going. Get a chance to see a real 2-minute drill right now.
And they're moving fast.
Yeah.
The pace of this Indiana team really strikes me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. It's multiple tempos. They can slow it down. They can go at a breakneck pace if they want to. If they see matchups they like, personnel groupings they want to take advantage of.
Rourke going to take a shot here. Finds Elijah Surratt inside the 40-yard line. A 14-yard reception and a first down.
I want to go back to one of your calls earlier on a reception. Again, as you look, again, this is Curtis Rourke, right hash, throwing all the way to the left sideline. Little wobble in that ball, but boy, does it get there with some pace, right? And so that's a big-time arm. That is a big-time player. That's a Power 5 quarterback. So Curtis Rourke showcasing some of that arm strength here tonight.
Back to the air. Rourke over the middle. Again, it's Surratt wrapped up after a pickup of 11. Isaiah Jones on the tackle. Somebody that the defensive staff has been exceptionally surprised by. Maybe the surprise of the defense during spring camp. And 3 straight completions. That's Zach Horton hauling it in.
This is Curtis Rourke's wheelhouse. This is where his experience, this is where his unflappable nature inside the pocket, operating in a hostile environment, both with the defense kind of trying to collapse around him and with the clock whittling down, needing a score for the ones and for the offense rather to come out on top in this simulated game here. And so this is where you're starting to see his ability to understand where the ball needs to go and then his ability to go get it.
Rourke looking underneath. And a nice open field tackle by Aiden Fisher. 3-yard reception by Trey Walker.
Timeout, Indiana. That's the first of the half. It'll be 30 seconds and late. Game clock operator.
Now which Indiana? Offense or no, I'm just kidding.
Great point.
Here's the route from Trey Walker.
Yeah, just a little crosser route, right? Want to get one of those, easy completion over the middle. And that's one of the things with this offense. Anybody, any receiver on the field at any given time can get the football. And you see that in the way that they come off the ball, exploding off the line. There are no brotherhood routes in this offense. Nobody's trying to help another guy get open and sacrifice themselves. Everybody's up and available.
Rourke underneath again. And it is Trey Walker picking up the first down. So the drive continues. And Rourke has had a handful of completions.
Yeah, and look, at 75 seconds left here, obviously you'd like to see Trey Walker get out of bounds there, but getting the first down was more important. And, heady player right there, 5th-year guy, understands the situation.
Rourke has completed 6 in a row, and this one is over the head of Walker, snapping that streak.
Look, Walker and Bamba, 45 and 48 here in red. Guys that kind of seldom used in the pass game in recent years here with Indiana offenses, and they've done a lot of the dirty work in the run game, and they take pride in that, and they're an extension of the offensive line at times. Zach Horton is the guy at tight end who can really bring the juice in the pass game as well. 6 touchdowns a year ago. Kind of reminds the staff a little bit of Chris Cooley. Played in the league.
That's a heck of a comment right there. Rourke will go to the ground, and a nice pickup by Green. 6 yards on the carry.
Timeout, Indiana. That's their second of the half. Game clock operator. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 5 seconds. 1:05. Thank you.
Kurt Signetti wants to make sure Rourke has a true 2-minute drill here.
Every second matters, Matt. Every second matters here, especially, with few opportunities really to work on situational football in a live game kind of environment.
Forget all that. There's a lot on the line here, Rhett. You know that.
Yeah, it's bragging rights for the next, 4 months as we go through the summer.
Offense versus defense, 3rd down and 4. Rourke looking right, now goes over the middle and batted down. Nice defensive effort by Josh Sanguinetti on the coverage of Miles Cross.
Pass is intended for 12 Miles.
All right, let's see. Again, Rourke starting off to the right. Great eye discipline there, coming back to the middle. That's a ball that Miles Cross has got to catch and has caught many times in his career. 47 catches each of the last 2 seasons at Ohio. That is a perfectly placed ball. That is a surefire game-winning touchdown. Looked like he might have come up a little limping there with that left leg.
Game on the line here. 4th and 4. Offense down by 4. They need a touchdown. Rourke looking for Surratt. Instead, he goes underneath, and Horton dives ahead for a first down to extend the drive.
Cool, calm, collected is Curtis Rourke, and now he's going to hustle him up to the line. Obviously working without any timeouts here for the offense, at least according to the scoreboard. Here we go.
50 seconds. Rourke again looking for Horton, and that is batted down by Bryson Bonds.
Pass is intended for 44.
Bryson Bonds, a player this Hoosiers defense is going to count on as part of that safety depth. Has been a mostly special teams player throughout his career here. Let's take a look at where he's lining up about 2 yards deep into the end zone, and has to fight through some traffic to get through that. You know, might have contacted a little bit early, but you'll take that. That's an aggressive play on the football, and nice work there by Bryson Bonds. Come up and make a play when his defense needed it.
Defense with their backs against the wall, a 4-point lead, ball on the 4-yard line. Justice Ellison back into the game at tailback. In motion, Rourke going end zone and caught. It's Anderson Kobe again, pulling in the touchdown to give the offense the lead.
Touchdown Hoosiers.
This game started with Anderson Kobe making an explosive play and just might end with Anderson Kobe making a game-winning play. Little fade route here, back shoulder, Rourke, excellent ball placement. Look, Anderson Kobe is pulling some tools out of the bag here tonight. I did not have him pegged as a contested catch type of player based off what we've seen from him in the past, but he has come to play here this evening. And again, we might have to move that, 7-8 to 8-9 type of players that might really make a contribution at the wide receiver room here.
Remember earlier in this spring game, Anderson Kobe had a 39-yard reception from Taven Jackson, which set up the first touchdown of the spring game. Jackson finding McCulley. Kobe now with a couple of really big plays, and again, as you referenced, he's had a varying role here in Indiana. Started 10 games 2 years ago, only 5 catches all of last year.
Yeah, and he was, a double move type of guy, like, hey, let's stretch the defense type of guy, and it certainly can. Has phenomenal speed. Part of the reason why Tennessee brought him in initially, and then it comes to IU, and now obviously trying to make a mark in this new Big Ten here, Matt.
Which Indiana will see. Washington and UCLA on their schedule in the fall of 2024, and Curt Cignetti really excited about the schedule that they drew this year, particularly the first half. Feels like it matches up well with their team and gives them an opportunity to get in a position to be bowl eligible come second half of the 2024 campaign.
Yeah, no question, right? And this Hoosier program hasn't been to a bowl game since that 2020 season that nearly saw them get into the Big Ten championship game, if not for a technicality during that COVID year. But man, it does set up nice early and then gives you an opportunity to fine-tune who you are as a team using those double byes as you go into really the meat of the schedule with Ohio State and Michigan in back-to-back games separated by a bye, and then obviously finishing in a battle for the bucket with Purdue.
Man, I was really hoping to see Taven Jackson dial it up for 45 seconds, but it's victory formation here.
It's the best play in football, Matt. Let's go. Situations, got to work them all. And Taven's going to get an opportunity. And you know what's important, and I'd be curious to see if this is part of Curt Cignetti's thinking here, but he's earned the right to take the knee here tonight.
No doubt. Scored the first touchdown of the game. The Jackson leading a 90-yard drive, which he was 7 for 7 on.
That was incredible. I mean, just absolutely surgical. Dicing up that number 2 defense at the time, but then finding Donovan McCulley on a perfectly placed ball in the back of the end zone. Absolutely on target. Giving Anderson Kobe a chance to go up and make a play. This is, in terms of balance, this is a win for both sides. This is a true Indiana win here.
We weren't sure what to expect. And given the fact that the defense is so short right now on scholarship players, 34 to the offense's 47 coming into the week, we thought maybe we could see the offense really show their strength.
2 seconds. 0-2.
This is interesting. Oh, all right. Looks like we got a special guest down on the field there, Matt.
You're right. Bruce Schaus is going to line up in the backfield.
What do we got? Little gap scheme, maybe get a little GT counter. Let's see what Schaus can do, baby.
He's gloved up here next to Curtis Rourke. I'm thinking handoff up the gut.
Oh, 100%.
But the way the offensive line has played tonight.
Yeah, let's run this thing behind Big Cat Mike Koenig.
Bruce Schaus is going to get the give. They're going right side to the little fella. Schaus weaving past 2 tacklers. Schaus to the house at Memorial Stadium for a touchdown.
Touchdown Hoosiers right there. And that is an absolutely perfect ending to Curt Cignetti's first spring season here in Indiana.
Awesome.
We have to offer Schaus.
So much hype.
Class of 2040.
So much hype, Red, around this program, and the spring game did not disappoint. Really highly competitive, and the quarterback battle might be a bit bigger than we anticipated.
Sure. And let's take a look at this run from Schaus here, going off the right side on a little sweep there, utilizing that big body and Trey Weddick, making a couple of nice cuts. Way to work. The ball security there as well. A couple of good points of contact into the end zone. Let's get a little celebration. Put a cap on this thing for the Hoosier spring. And that's a win right there. Way to work, little fella.
Not easy to make Mikhail Kamara miss on the edge. Went diving for Schaus, who weaved his way to the end zone. The offense wins the spring game. Signetti delivering the final message. We will step aside and be back to wrap up Curt Cignetti's first spring game as the Indiana head coach. They count the touchdown for Drew Schaus, making the offense winners 34-25 here in the first spring game under Curt Cignetti, who's standing by with Pat Boylan.
Thank you, Coach. What caught your attention here tonight?
Well, we got off the field without getting anybody hurt, which is a big plus, and we accomplished that all spring long. And we really made progress in a lot of areas as a football team. You know, tonight's not perfect. You know, I'm sure there's good, bad, and ugly. We have key guys out. It's going to look a lot better in the fall. And but you know, there was some nice stuff out there. And I'm trying to figure out if our two offense is that good or our two defense is that bad. I think I know the answer to that question.
When you took over this program, you talked about a necessary mindset change as you move into the summer here. How key is that mindset going to be to seeing the type of growth you're hoping for?
Oh, it's the whole deal. And we've made significant strides since December 1st. We're not there yet. We got a long way to go, but we don't need to be there right now. We need to be there when we run out that tunnel in that first game and then learn from every moment there on out, okay? But we got to make a lot of progress in a short amount of time.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you, Pat. This is the 2024 schedule, and Curt Cignetti believes they can win right away. He left a job that he said was very good. He felt at home at James Madison. It had to be the right opportunity for him to leave. He feels like Indiana is that opportunity.
It's an opportunity to win. And obviously you get 2 home games to start in the non-conference schedule with FIU and Western Illinois. And then you head to a place you haven't been since the 60s at the Rose Bowl at Pasadena, taking on UCLA week 3, which actually doubles as the first game of the new Big Ten. First time a traditional Big Ten school will battle one of the new 4 schools that are coming in this year.
Lots of excitement for the 2024 season, and in particular, Indiana football. You heard Aiden Fisher, the JMU transfer, say we're bringing winning to Bloomington. The fan base is hungry for it. We saw the players hungry for it today. Taven Jackson might have been the MVP of this spring game. 7 for 7, 90 yards on the opening drive, and the offense wins it 34-25. For Rhett Lewis, Pat Boylan, I'm Matt Schumacher saying so long from Bloomington, where Indiana's spring game is in the books.